Welcome to another episode of Searching for MacGuffin with your hosts, George.
Gabe.
And Link.
And we're back here, the three OG hosts, another week, another topic.
Yes, your favorite therapists are back.
Just for the record, we are not licensed therapists. Full disclosure, disclaimer.
But we're good amateur therapists.
Is that even a thing, amateur therapist? Yeah. Okay.
Listening.
All
Someone
three
who
of us?
listens well.
We're great listeners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all we do is talk.
Yeah, we listen to our audience.
Oh, do we? I think Gabe is in charge of social media, so do you listen to our audience?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Does our audience even interact with us?
Well, she's such a good listener.
They don't. I can.
Yeah,
tell them
she
I
listens.
know.
She doesn't respond back. So
Oh, okay.
there's no way. She's so good.
So
at
we
listening.
ghost
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
It's a one way. But-
Well, have you ever been to a therapist? Oftentimes you're like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
mhm.
ghosting us.
Yeah, no comments back. And I'm like, I want a little bit more, but
You know, I've never been to a therapist.
no,
No.
Because
you should probably.
No, because
you probably everyone
never,
should.
never been able to
But
afford
especially-
it. But yeah,
Mm.
but I would love to.
They probably offer it at
Yeah,
school.
you're.
At
Yeah,
Southern. It was free. Sorry.
Yeah, at school it was. Yeah, I should
Sorry,
never
your
use that
tuition covers it.
opportunity.
Yeah.
I should never use it.
Your
I don't know.
healthcare covers it now.
That's true. I have
Should.
healthcare now.
Yeah, congratulations. Thanks to this.
Wow.
Thanks to this show.
Thanks to the show. You guys are paying for my health care.
1 year ago, you did not have health care.
I was living under a bridge
I'm not sure it was
downtown.
that dark.
where I drew some blood,
Okay,
where I gave my life away.
that's beautiful. Did you write that?
I heard it somewhere. I don't know
Okay.
where. Yeah.
All right,
I think like a
that's like poetry.
Miley Cyrus song.
No, I
I
don't
think-
think. I don't think that's it.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Wiz Khalifa. Kanye said it.
No, we don't. We don't speak that
No, we
name
don't
here.
associate.
Yeah. It sounded like a verse of poetry, almost like a beautiful melody written. I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know if you want to.
I was there. I was there with you.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought you were going somewhere.
Okay, you want to finish the thought?
A beautiful medley.
A beautiful medley.
Melanie.
Who's Melanie?
A beautiful melody.
Melanie. You couldn't even.
Dang.
The joke of the joke couldn't.
No.
Okay.
Do
Well,
you know what else is a beautiful medley?
was it medley? Was that the word I was going for?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
What is a beautiful
Um,
medley?
The Flower Garden. You know what that's in?
No, I have no idea.
This little film called Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving
Oh.
Castle.
Yeah,
Is that not a beautiful meadow?
that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Howl's Moving.
Produced by the studio by the name Ghibli.
Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
I think this is the most important question, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about one of the most important studios of all time, Studio Ghibli.
I mean, to us.
To us.
I don't know if
mean,
it's one of those important studios.
I would
think
I would
think
say-
important
I
to
would
I mean, I
the
guess in
world of-
film.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
probably top two.
Well, because you said studio. Studio can do a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
different
I'd
things.
like animation studio wise. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
Ghibli. Which one is it? I say Ghibli. I don't know why. I just got used to saying it.
Pretty sure it's Ghibli because the GH in Italian.
It's Italian, yeah.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
makes the gus sound. So
Oh, that's good because I say Ghibli and I was pretty sure it was Ghibli.
It's
Like,
Ghibli.
because I always assume however I pronounce it's the opposite of the
Yeah.
right way.
Oh. Always just assume I'm
But
wrong.
how would a Japanese person pronounce it? Would that be the correct way?
I mean, I have no idea. I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know. But I
It
think,
depends on the Japanese person because
Yeah.
they're all individual humans with their own cultural trills and
Correct. But
peculiarities.
I think he named it after like the Italian.
Car, right? Something?
No. I think Ghibli is supposed to be like a.
Is it a car or is it a...
No, it's supposed to be like a.
This fell.
It leads back to airplanes. which
Airplanes,
was
right?
Yeah.
Miyazaki's like obsession, and his dad I think worked on planes during the war.
Yeah.
World
Yes.
War, right?
Which will come back later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
So what is Studio Ghibli for the uninitiated? And it is kind of a niche topic. They're a huge studio with massive influence even beyond just their individual work, who they've inspired. But probably a lot of listeners and viewers may not be as familiar. Maybe they just know the name. Maybe they haven't even heard it at all. So what is Studio Ghibli?
It's a Japanese animation studio.
No, that's just it.
It's a Japanese animation studio that's responsible for hits such as Spirited Away,
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle,
Mhm.
My Neighbor Totoro, Ponyo. Those are, I think, the most popular ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. name a few.
And people have probably seen some of these characters, figures, especially like Totoro. He's even in one of the Toy Story movies, right?
Yeah, he's in. Yeah, he is also the logo of
Studio
Ghibli.
Yeah, they recently produced the Grogu short on Disney Plus.
What was that?
It was a practice animatic. I guess it was cute.
I never actually saw it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, I liked it personally. I mean, I think our group of friends kind of hyped up that there was a big project coming, and
I was definitely excited when they announced it, but I didn't.
But if you watch it, you'd be like, okay, what did I watch?
it was
like 3 minutes.
Existential. Yeah. It was like Princess Kaguya, which I guess we'll talk about later in the animation style, which was can be jarring. I guess it's different, you know. So this studio, not only do they make these great works, but also they have inspired generations of animators, and it kind of like trickles down into the work of, I think, from an American standpoint, Pixar, huge.
Yeah,
and I think you see influences throughout, like even where you might not expect them to.
Yeah.
Where should someone start, you think, if they haven't seen a Ghibli movie, or they've maybe only seen one or two, didn't even know they were a Ghibli movie?
Well, I'll raise you one. Where did you start?
Where did I start?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I guess I'll have to pull up my list. I think the first one I ever saw, if I'm not mistaken, was Spirited Away.
Yeah. That's the one I watched.
When it was nominated for the Oscar.
That's when I watched it. I watched it with you guys.
Yeah.
With you, my sister.
Now, I have a vague memory of possibly watching Kiki's Delivery Service growing up.
That's mine.
Yeah, as a child.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't really know what it was, and I remember like, we didn't have a lot of animated movies. So when that one came over to the States, like, it was a thing that I watched, but
yeah, I remember with Kiki's Delivery Service, I remember it was like in the VHS previews of a Sailor Moon tape that we used to watch. So I remember that constantly. But I don't think I didn't know when I was younger what it fully was.
Exactly. And I think that too, they had a lot of advertising for it. So like you would watch other movies and see that trailer over and over again. Yeah, definitely. What about you, Link? Oh, you said you started with...
Yeah, I started with Spirited Away.
Which is a really high bar.
It is a high bar because I think it's their only... I think it's their best one. One of the best ones, right?
It's one of their best ones.
It's the one that it's the only one. It's the only one that's been nominated for. That's won. Animated best feature. Right?
Yeah,
it's their highest
grossing. Yeah,
it was the highest grossing film in Japan forever until
for like 20 years.
20 years until I believe
Avatar.
No, I think
The Last Airbender.
I think Your Name.
Yeah, I think it was
Your Name.
Oh, really?
And then after Your Name, I want to say that. What's the Demon Slayer movie? The train.
Are you serious?
Train?
Yeah, Mugen Train.
I think Mugen Train is the one that surpassed both of them. I could be wrong
both
there.
Of them?
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Wow.
But those are top 3 for like most.
Yeah, why were you surprised both of them? Not like both of them combined.
No, because because Mugen Train. I guess
they made 100 million, 200
million.
They made 500.
Because. Yeah, it's weird because, I mean, Mugen Train is a show. It's based off a show, right? Whereas Your Name and Spirited Away
are real movies.
Sorry,
Mugen Train.
And I don't want to say that like
there's a long episode, like 3 episodes cut into a movie.
I don't want to say that there's like a huge like hierarchy between movies and shows. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, like it just feels like
I'll say it. I mean, there shouldn't be, but there is for me.
But yeah, there is for me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if it's an anime, like
long form. Not only that, going a little side quest. Mugen Train, I saw it as a movie, but I was watching the show, and as I was watching the movie, I was like, "This is where the first episode stops.
Yeah,
this is where the second episode stops.
Yeah.
So it was easily, obviously formatted in a very like television style base. Great movie.
Great movie. R.I.P. Rengoku.
We just doing that? Yeah,
it's been a whole year.
Oh, that's
spoiler alert.
That's a whole. Been a whole season.
Okay.
It was a season.
Sure.
Of a show. I'm sorry. It's season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
I agree. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I love you.
Legend.
All right.
Legend King.
So I have a question. So you just named 3 highest grossing films, like just in general, like overall.
Yeah.
So anime is like that powerful in the box office
in Japan.
Wow.
In Japan.
Yeah. No, I mean, not worldwide.
And not worldwide.
Yeah, we don't even get those movies like
We don't get those movies.
Yeah,
no.
you have to hunt down when they're
Like they have to be like a
giving them-
Fathom event if you want to watch them.
Yeah. AMC
Which
does this.
A-list does not cover.
Well, AMC
No.
does this trick that they don't cover it for like 2 weeks, and then, like for these anime movies specifically, not for Fathom events, they'll give them, and then later they'll get picked up as wide release, and then that's when I can go watch them with A-list. So usually, like you watch the movies first, but they have to be really popular, like Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, or Dragon Ball Z.
But anything by the guy that does Your Name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I learned that lesson because like I paid out of pocket for Dragon Ball Z, I want to say Brawly, and that documentary that Peter Jackson did about World War One, They Shall Not Grow Old.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 3 days later, it
They
was
picked it
included
up.
in the
On the
A-list. And
Oh,
I was
dang.
like, I spent $50 for me and my wife each.
They
I was like,
are
there's
expensive,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
$100 down the drain. But yeah, Spirited Away, one of the first ones, Kiki's Delivery Service. What are some of your favorite films? Right off the bat, recommend for.
Like, what are some of my favorites?
Yeah, favorites.
Yeah. Not recommendations. What are my favorites?
Oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah.
Oh, because
Yeah,
my
I feel like-
recommendations.
No, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's different because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Okay, so let's go with your favorites.
Favorites, yeah. Are we doing a top
Let's
three?
go three. Let's go
top
three. Yeah, because we'll be here all day.
Oh,
There's
oh,
tw-
oh.
there's,
There's
20,
20.
there's 23 of them.
We can't do top 23.
Yeah. We're ranking all
Yeah.
23 of them from the.
All right, so my favorite ones.
yeah.
I'll go with top one. Do the first one.
Top
okay?
one. I think my favorite one is Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind.
Nausicaa. Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah,
Pitch it. Like sell it.
pitch it.
Like sell it to our audience. Why should
Sell
they
it-
watch Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind? What makes it so good?
It's just a great story about. I don't even know how to. It's just my favorite one out of all of them.
That's their first film, right?
It's their first film. Yeah,
Officially as a studio.
officially it's their first
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite one, but then I rewatched it and I'm like, man, this is really good.
Mm.
Really enjoyed this one, and it ended up being my favorite one. But it's just great storytelling, great animation's great. You see a lot of it inspire. It's probably not their best one,
Yeah.
right? But you can see that because it's the first one, it pretty much sets a tone for what Studio Ghibli is going to be,
Right.
especially when it comes to topics, themes as of environmentalism.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I really enjoy it. And it's a good story too, good love story.
Okay.
Wait, is it a love story?
I don't know. Between what, Man and Earth or
It's between Nausicaa
and the Wind?
and the valley, yeah.
Oh.
Very insightful. So
That's my
One.
favorite. That's my
That's
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
we're just
Number
doing one.
Yeah,
favorite?
number one. Because he couldn't come up. He was like, I don't know what 3, 2.
No, because I could have put.
No.
I just couldn't.
No,
put an
we'll
order.
come
I'm
back
just
to
saying-
2 and
Yeah.
3, but let's.
I can
let's
do
go.
a top 5. I think top 5 is easier.
Okay.
I think favorite is hard because I think I kind of alternate between.
Yeah,
a couple.
that's-
that's
Okay.
kinda the hard
Okay. So
part.
then you really want to go to 5? We could do a
I mean,
top 5.
I can do a
guess.
top
no,
5.
No particular order.
No particular order. Yeah.
Okay. So you go 1 and then you.
I'll do Spirited Away.
Mm.
I'll do
Spirited
it. That's
Away.
my number one. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
I
do
think
it.
Spirited Away is on my top 5
Yeah,
for sure.
It's in my
Yeah.
top. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be.
I think it's just so beautiful. Did you understand it the first time you saw it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
There's
not.
still spots I think where I'm like,
Yeah.
What does this mean?
like-
I think I know what this means now.
Yeah.
But I
Yes.
think maybe that's the point.
Yes.
Mm.
I love that about art.
Yeah.
It's interpretive.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I know what this means. I come back to the film 8 years later.
Right?
No, it doesn't mean that. It means
Yeah.
Something
this.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not really sure if any of them are right, but that's kind of the beauty of it.
I think that's also this can be a later discussion, but I think that's also the beauty of Ghibli films
Mm-hmm.
in general.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that. We can come back to it.
Okay.
Have further thoughts.
Absolutely. My 8-year-old niece loves this movie.
Mhm.
And like we exposed her to Ghibli way early.
Mhm.
And I think maybe too early because it's been like 2 years. So she's
Mhm.
probably like 6. Not because of like content wise, but it was just like they're deep and complex. And I was also afraid maybe she's not going to like them because they're like slow
Yeah.
and like
yeah.
plotting. But she loves it. And she's made us watch it maybe like 12, 15 times.
Yeah.
And usually a movie will grain on you, But this movie, I love it every single time. It's like, it's hard. She knows to trick us. Like if she has to leave
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, no, but we didn't watch Spirited Away.
Mm.
Yeah. And another one that makes my top 5 that she makes us watch over and over is Ponyo.
Ponyo.
Fun, yeah.
Ponyo.
I-
Is that any of yours?
I don't know if it's
not
on my top five,
yeah.
but
It's a
I
great
think
one.
it's I also think it's the one that I've probably seen it the most,
Interesting.
but not intentionally, if that makes sense.
Why? Why is that?
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
trying to like
You
dig
just
into why.
accidentally
Yeah,
watch
I don't
Ponyo?
know. If
You wake
it's-
up from a fugue state and you're watching Ponyo?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I've seen it so many times.
I do think if you want to introduce a child to Studio
Yes.
Ghibli,
Yeah,
I
that
do
is the
believe
most child.
Ponyo is probably the
Yeah.
most child
Right.
appropriate movie.
Mhm.
That one and maybe My Neighbors Are Yamadas, but
It
Mm.
might be the first one that I saw in the theater, which I think is why it has a special
Yeah.
place in my
Mm.
heart. And I love the Western cast, the English language cast.
The dub.
Yeah, they're
great.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Especially this was the height of I think Disney's distribution
yeah.
Mm.
of Studio Ghibli, and they really made me fall
Mm.
in love with, because I think we've had this discussion on the show before. And we're probably going to go into it here,
Yeah.
like of dub versus sub. But I
Mhm.
think it's impeccable, the work, especially the ones that Disney did with that time. So that's why I love Ponyo, and it's an adaptation of The Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Wait,
is
It's
it?
like, it's like their
Yeah.
version.
It's
of
like the male
Little Mermaid.
version of it. Oh, Ponyo's
No,
a little girl.
Ponyo's a
I'm sorry.
little girl.
I was thinking of Sasuke. I was thinking a little
No,
boy.
Sasuke's Eric. You know, Ponyo's the
Oh.
star. She has her voice.
Not Tina
Yeah.
Fey's a star for me.
Okay, interesting.
Tina Fey's story.
take. You know, her father is like commands the sea.
That's
and,
true.
Mhm.
You know, they go underwater. He has to choose whether, except
Mm.
the little boy chooses. Well, I guess Eric in the Disney version chooses.
Yeah.
In the fairy tale, not so much, but yeah.
I,
So
I
it's
didn't
their,
make that connection. That's
yeah.
good. True.
he was it's their adaptation of The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
And my niece loves The Little Mermaid, and so does my wife. So it's definitely on my top 5. I guess that brings us right back to you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do my top.
Hit
I'll
it.
just say
Just
them all.
throw
Yeah.
them all.
Yeah.
So
Throw
like I
them
said, Nausicaa the Valley, The Wind,
Mm-hmm.
Princess Mononoke, Kiki's Delivery Service,
Princess Mononoke is on mine.
Howl's Moving Castle.
What was that?
I'm just trying to figure out, man.
Oh.
It's top 5, but
It's
there's
hard.
you get me. I'm missing Spirited Away, right?
Yeah.
But I love Porco Rosso.
Okay. Pokerossa's on my top 5.
Yeah. But
Most people don't land it on their
It's
top
not.
5.
It's not on mine.
it's on.
Oh,
I
okay.
love, but then I feel bad leaving out Spirited Away.
How you okay? So what did
You're
you
leaving
you
it
put?
off of your top 5.
I
That's
He's-
fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
There's no right
you know
or wrong
what?
answer.
If I have
except
to
you're
choose
wrong,
between
but-
Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, I will choose.
She-
I would choose Howl's Moving Castle.
my niece and my wife love House Moving
But-
Castle. I read the book. And
that's inspired.
yeah, have you read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
It was
great.
cute.
It's
I
so
loved
good.
it. And that's what I love. I love that. Miyamoto does a lot of that, like and Studio Ghibli does
Who?
a lot of. I don't know how to say. No, that's the Nintendo
yeah,
guy.
that's the Mario and Zelda
He also
creator.
does that because he's totally ripped out Odyssey in that one game. Anyways,
Miyazaki.
the Odyssey, Miyazaki.
Yeah, Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah, sorry, wrong Japanese deity that we pray to. So Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli do that a lot. They adapt
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah, or like old lore and
Yes.
things and kind of
Mhm.
right, like Princess Kaguya is
Yes,
also
Yeah,
Japanese
Princess
as well.
Kaguya. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. The Secret of Ariadne is an adaptation.
Yeah, it's of the Borrowers.
Yeah.
What else? I'm trying
You
to think of my
mentioned-
ones.
You mentioned Princess Mononoke.
Mhm.
This movie was amazing.
This movie's
Fantastic.
mind
in my
blowing,
top
yeah.
5. That was gonna be my
I-
next one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can arguably say that one and Nausicaa the Valley Wind are like my favorite.
Yeah. I think it might be I don't know if it's their best film.
I think it's their most BA. I think it's their
Yeah.
most
Yeah, yeah.
their most
for sure.
adult, most
Most
anime
anime, yeah.
like. Yeah, I think
Actually, and that's one of the reasons why I like Nausicaa the Valley and the Wind, because when we think of like Studio Ghibli's most like anime-esque movies, we think of Princess Mononoke.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind's very action heavy.
okay.
It's action packed.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. I think like I saw it really late on, so I had seen a lot of the newer films
Mm.
and it felt so
Old.
Felt
old.
dated,
Yeah. That and yeah, I don't even want to say dated, but it was just like okay, I see where they were,
Mhm.
but
Mm.
like where they've come.
Mhm.
So it was just kind of a different experience. And it's funny the way you go through this catalog,
Yeah.
how you experience it and in what order it kind of changes your perspective on it. Miramax had brought Princess Mononoke over while I was growing up, and they just released it like a regular movie. And I bought the DVD like nothing, and it just blew my mind. There's the action / violence in it.
Mm.
I don't think it's matched in any of the other.
No.
And I wonder why that is.
How do you call it? I have an interesting story about that.
Okay.
About Miramax and Princess Mononoke.
Go right ahead.
When Miramax, they were distributing it, right?
Mhm.
They wanted Studio Ghibli to cut it because they thought it was too long,
Okay.
right? So Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli, was it Miyazaki or the producer?
Or Miyamoto.
They sent a present to Harvey Weinstein with
You're name dropping.
I mean,
No.
there's nothing I can do.
That's the story. That's
it's
fine.
Harvey Weinstein, right?
Yeah.
With a sword, a katana that said no cuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, so the story has a happy ending because it's threatening the life of Harvey Weinstein.
Exactly. They were onto something. They knew what was going on.
He knew.
They were trying to cut something off him.
Nintendo knew. What else makes your top 5?
No, those are my top 5.
Yeah,
Leanne.
Leani.
What was your number 1 again?
Yeah,
Which
we
one?
heard you
Spirited
cut
Away.
Spirited
Spirited
Away.
Away,
Yeah.
yeah.
You cut her top number 1.
Yeah. In no order.
No,
now,
mine
so
are
I
in
don't
no
really
order,
know.
so
Yeah. But Spirited Away is definitely not in it.
It's up there too. Man. Let's
It's
do a top
hard.
6.
Yeah, let's do top 10.
We'll just be here all night.
Howl's is on mine. Howl's Moving Castle. Whisper of the Heart.
Oh, that's a good one
Whisper
too.
of
Yeah.
the Heart.
Definitely in my top 5.
Oh man, that's a nice one.
Princess Mononoke, and then I really love Ocean Waves.
Oh yes, the
I love
aesthetics
Ocean
in that
Waves.
movie
It's
are so good.
I find it
90s
so,
Japan,
yes.
beautiful.
I find
I
it-
unfortunately have not seen Ocean
That's,
Waves.
Oh.
that's okay. You should watch it.
No, I'm gonna watch them all for sure. And by this summer, I'll have watched them all. I was gonna watch several of them in anticipation
Yeah.
for this episode.
Yeah, I had big plans.
Yeah. No, but I actually sat down to do it, and then I realized that on HBO Max, where you can see all of the Studio
Yeah,
Ghibli movies, with the exception of Grave of the Fireflies, they only have the Japanese language for many of them.
Oh yeah,
And then I thought to myself,
Ocean
oh,
Waves is one of those.
Yeah,
Ocean
I
Waves
know.
and only
I pressed
yesterday.
play.
And
Yeah.
you're like,
Oh.
so I have to sit and watch this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's specifically
Yeah.
the ones I
That
need
you
to
wanna
watch.
watch,
yeah.
Because I was like,
Those are the least popular
but-
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why.
no, but also Disney did the dubs, so
Mm.
they still own the rights to
Ah,
the
so-
dubs, but not to distribute the
Mm.
movie. So it's
I
like,
see.
oh, you guys want to take the license? Well, here's our work. Like, we're keeping
this.
our audio tracks. You can't distribute those.
Selfish Disney.
It's not they did the work. That's blame John Lasseter. Ooh, that's another name we're not allowed to bring up.
No cuts.
Just bleep all of these names out.
We always tell Dan to do that, and then
he never
does
does
it.
it. He
Yeah.
never does it.
I don't even know if he's still around. We haven't. Has anyone
Haven't
spoken
seen him,
to
yeah.
him? Yeah. Did you round out your top 5?
So yeah, you said
Spirited
Spirited
Away,
Away, Howl's,
Princess
Ocean
Mononoke,
Waves, Princess Mononoke,
Whisper of the Heart. Yeah.
and Whisper of the Heart.
Yeah.
Yes,
Whisper of the Heart.
that's a good one
that's
too.
5.
I really enjoyed Whisper of the Heart.
Whisper of the
It's
Heart
a
has a
beautiful-
weird
it's the
sequel.
cutest-
The
yeah,
Cat
the Cat
Returns.
Yeah, the
Return.
Cat Returns.
That's the one that I've watched the least, so
Yeah.
it's like
I've only seen it
I've
once.
only seen it once, so I don't
I
remember.
don't
it.
remember what's in it. Yeah, I don't remember.
It's based off of the cats the toys.
because but in Whisper of the Heart, the cat's not real, right?
No, it's
No.
like a toy.
And then it is,
And
right?
then-
Yeah.
In the sequel,
Cool.
The Cat Returns. Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Porco Rosso's on my top 5.
Yeah, Porco Rosso. Love that one.
I love it because, again, I love the English dub. Michael Keaton.
Michael
I
Keaton.
love Michael Keaton. He's
Fantastic.
amazing.
They've gotten Batman to be in there.
Christian
Yeah,
Bale.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later, but
That's
yeah.
right. They have all the Batmans.
Yeah.
Well, for the most part. I just love it because, like, another one that's in my top 5. I know it's in Dan's top 3 is The Wind Rises.
The Wind Rise is beautiful.
I love
Mm-hmm.
the stories that are just real life story, which is kind of ironic for Porco Rosso because it's like a cursed pig. But I love that in that story.
Better,
you don't-
to be a fascist than a pig.
That's
It better
right.
be a pig than a fascist.
Whoa.
Better be a pig than a fascist.
Yes,
better be a
that,
pig
that
than a
one,
fascist,
not the
yeah.
other way around.
Yeah.
Okay. But I just
Better
love
be a
that
fascist pig.
there's no explanation.
Yeah.
Like there's only
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's allegory.
Yeah.
Right? So it's,
And I love that. That's
Fantastic.
beautiful. And that's one thing I love about these films and just the Japanese culture and their art in general. The lack of need to be tied down to the literal.
Mhm.
I think sometimes in Western film and art, we need things to be concrete. We
Yeah.
don't work so much in the abstract, and
Yeah.
especially animation, who's aimed at children.
Yeah.
I think Pixar's made leaps into
Yeah.
like being a little
Pixar's
more
like the only one that does that in my
Yeah.
that I've seen so far.
But even then, they tend to anchor it
Yeah.
to something relatable and
Yeah.
concrete.
Yeah, it's also very much like I think more in Pixar films like this movie is sad. This movie's going to make you sad. This
Yeah.
movie you're supposed to be happy. Where I think with a lot of Ghibli films, here is a story, and these characters are human or they have these human qualities, blah,
Mhm.
blah, and that's it. And sometimes you just sit with it, and that's all it is. There's no crazy, I mean, sometimes crazy plot in the sense that you have
Yeah.
pigs
Like to make an animated film for families about building World War II airplanes, like you're probably not going to hear that pitch in any American animation studio. What else rounds out my top 5?
What have you said so far?
I think I said Porco Rosso, Ponyo, Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke. I got to finish it off. Oh no, The Wind Rises. That's my top 5.
The Wind Rises. I think the ones we had.
No one said Totoro. I'm surprised.
Oh, Totoro is also a good one for children.
That's a good one to start off. We never answered that question.
Yes.
If you're gonna, especially for children, Totoro and Ponyo
are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Totoro, Ponyo. I think
Kiki's Delivery Service. Yeah.
You know what I love about My Neighbor Totoro is that it's obviously one of the more childlike for children, right? One of the more. But even then, it's still deep and emotional because the mom is in the hospital.
Yeah.
So it's about these 2 little girls who are just creating this world this summer, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing that as a way to deal the way it's how they deal with their mom being in the hospital. Yeah. I just thought it was beautiful.
Great.
It's great.
And that movie is another example of like something that movie is pretty slow paced.
Yes,
like,
exactly. There's nothing like I don't even know what the climax would be in that movie.
Yeah, no. But you sit with it and like sit with that emotion, and I think that's beautiful.
We mentioned that I was trying to unearth, like, I was trying to catch up with the movies, couldn't because they were in Japanese. It's not just about me paying attention because I literally sat down and I was going to pay attention either way. But I'm a big fan of the English dubs for these movies. They get an all-star cast.
Yeah.
All of them have like great actors, voice actors who are, putting in their whole, the audio. The translations are very good.
Yeah.
Like, because if you watch them with the subtitles, you see how they'll like reconfigure it to make sense, but it's good. A lot of times, some of these translations they'll make some stuff up, and
you're like, that doesn't really...
they'll soften, But they do a really great job. So I was like, oh no, I can't watch them. So I came to my closet because I had shelved all my Blu-rays when we built the studio, and I was like, where are the Ghibli movies? So I'm like, now I have a mission this week where I have to unearth them and put them in a special pile because now I know they're not out there. Because I thought, hey, they're there, they're on HBO Max, but no, not the versions I want to watch.
Do you have all of?
I have all of them, yeah, because I had them when Disney was distributing, which I was very happy. They had them as titles in the Disney Movie Club, so it'd be like you pay $1, you get 5 movies.
Incredible.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
And then you just have to buy like 2 retail price movies, and it was like whatever the next Marvel Star Wars movie, boom, and then I would just sign up again, 5 more movies, $1.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, so I hoarded all of them, and I haven't watched all of them. A couple I haven't watched are, I haven't seen Secret World of Ariadne.
Oh, that was a good one.
That one's cute.
Yeah, I've heard. I haven't seen When Marmee Was There.
That's also a good one, yeah.
That's a good one.
I did see Tales of Princess Kaguya. You said you saw this?
Yeah.
How did you feel?
I'm not a...
This was nominated for Best Film, too,
this was also nominated. I mean, I can understand why it's nominated for Best Film.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of my least... It's not the one... Yeah.
It's not the one I would like direct people to.
Yeah,
why?
Direct people to. It's slow, very slow. And even too, the animation is different. It's watercoloring.
Yeah.
Compared to like normal hand drawn.
It's almost like an animated storybook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. Like I'll tell you that.
It is a work of art.
But the story really didn't grab my attention. But I've seen it, and it's special. It's special in Studio Ghibli because it's the last one that Isao Takahashi, I believe that's his last name. Yeah, it's the last one he directed before he died. And if you don't know, he's one of the main founders of Studio Ghibli, along with Hayao Miyazaki, who is, the Walt Disney of Japanese animation.
Right.
And the producer of all the movies, Toshio Suzuki.
Oh, I thought his son Goro was the Walt Disney of Japanese animation. No?
No. His son Goro is, she's living under the shadow of...
Poor guy.
The Walt Disney of Japanese animation.
Yeah, like what was Walt Disney's son
doing?
No, like I don't even know who he was. Sorry.
Walter Disney.
Walter, I don't think that's accurate. Yeah, that's a complete guess.
But yeah, these 3 men, along with
Goro,
Joe Hisaishi.
Hisaishi,
yeah. He's a main composer for most of these movies.
Incredible. Music is a big part of his movies.
Yes.
Huge part.
Like, this guy is like one of the best composers of all time. Like, I know people always say like best composers, Michael Giacchino. Then you have what's that? Hans Zimmer, right? You got
John Williams.
Right? But I would this guy's never in that
He's up,
in
yeah,
that
yeah,
conversation.
and he should be.
And he should be
You
because
got
I would
Trent
put
Reznor.
him.
No, he's
Trent
not one of the
Reznor.
great. Oh, okay.
I mean, modern one, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I would say
And
so.
Atticus Ross.
Atticus Ross as well too, but I would put this guy up there with him. Like this
Fergie.
guy is great. And even like his, if you go to TikTok, you'll see a lot of his music there in videos.
Yeah.
So this guy is reaching a whole new generation now because of social media.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously the work of from these movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I love this guy. He's probably my favorite movie composer.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of all
those, yeah.
even more than Fergie.
Of course, Fergie can't even do the national anthem well.
Oh, you have to bring that back
oof,
up.
oof. No, I mean, but I'm not the type of person that listens to movie scores,
Mm-hmm.
I am.
but I will listen to. I have like a
Yeah.
playlist of just his stuff.
Be
That's
like,
interesting.
"What?
Can you
Yeah.
share that playlist?
Yeah, yeah.
It's on Spotify.
Share it on the group chat.
Yeah, put it in the show notes.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah.
Producer Dan, if you still work here, put it in the show notes.
But yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah, those four men, Joe Hisashi, Miyazaki, Takahata, and Suzuki are the
four pillars.
The four pillars of Studio Ghibli.
Four horsemen of the.
Four horsemen. Yeah.
of the apocalypse. Yeah.
So it's sad that Takahata what's it called? Princess Kaguya was his last movie, so it's like it's like a special place for Studio Ghibli.
It's like a movie that's too good for me. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Like it was like I know this movie's amazing, and because I don't get it, it's probably because I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a folklore story too, so I'm sure there's some
There's a
cultural stuff
disconnect.
there.
Yeah, there's a
there.
disconnect.
Because that's how I felt. I was like, bro, what is this?
Yeah, I think I have to go back and revisit it.
I'm sure if I watch it again, I'll enjoy it more. I mean,
Mhm.
understand it,
Appreciate it more.
appreciate it more.
right.
Yeah.
I've not seen it, so I still have to watch it.
Oh, okay.
Um,
You mentioned Ocean Waves. What's Ocean Waves about?
Oh man, it's a beautiful.
It's. I mean, it's pretty simple. It just follows basically these two characters living on the coast of Japan, and they're in their adolescence. I think it's a story about
coming of age, right?
coming of age, and
Which, as many of them are.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the emotions that fluctuate with that.
Mm.
I would say it's pretty melancholic, but I think a lot of Ghibli films kind of are.
Yeah.
And it's Japan in the 90s.
Yeah.
Which it's
Yeah, which
itself, it's it's
so good.
aesthetic. Yeah, it's a
Really?
vibe.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Oh, I gotta check that one
Yeah.
out then. I got.
And it's one of those movies that's actually not directed by Miyazaki or Takahata.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's
I do like when you get that like unique voice to
Yeah.
come in and
Mhm.
kind of, I don't know, guest coach.
yeah.
I think we didn't mention Castle in the Sky.
Oh, La Puta
That is that is the name of the movie in Japan.
is Laputa. But
Also, it's
Oh.
not. So it's not La Puta.
it's Laputa.
I'm almost certain we can get away with that.
Danny,
I mean-
bleep that word
Well,
out.
in English, it's Laputa, right? But if
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna read it in Spanish, it's La Puta.
I don't think so. I don't think that's.
That's why, like, the movie couldn't, like, they couldn't
I
release
was
the movie
covering
as
for
La
you.
Puta. It's
Oh, that's why.
yeah, because it's Laputa, the castle in the sky.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the name of the castle.
Mhm.
You can't use that in Spanish.
Do they still use the name in the movie?
No, it's called whatever you translate the castle in the sky to. In
Oh,
Spanish. I'm not
okay.
sure. But wouldn't it be awesome?
I don't know if it would be awesome. How many countries would it be banned in?
All of South America, Spain.
House Moving Castle didn't make my top 5, but it's also a favorite here
Oh, yeah.
in my home.
Just for rewatchability.
It's
I
the
think
score
it's
too
up
And
is a
because of
great.
Christian Bale.
And
Christian
Chris
Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
And the score is fantastic.
Yeah.
So what were you talking about? The dubs.
Yeah, the dubs. How do you feel about the dub versus sub conversation, especially in Ghibli specifically?
Yeah.
I think for Ghibli it's interesting because most like anime series, not that I've seen a
Tons.
ton, but
Mhm.
of the ones that I've watched, I've mostly watched it subbed.
Okay.
Um,
That's the traditionalist way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The pure way to.
but I love the dubbing
Yeah.
on this,
Yeah.
like you said, especially Disney and
Mhm.
the people they've brought in and names we've already mentioned. But you have everyone from like, yeah, you have Michael Keaton and you have Christian Bale and you have
Tina Fey, Amy
Fey.
Poehler,
Kirsten Dunst,
Kristen Dunst, yeah, Josh
John Krasinski.
Krasinski, yeah,
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon,
There, a ton.
JGL,
He's the father in Ponyo.
yeah, he is
Mm.
JGL. He's in,
He is?
yeah, he's in The Wind Rises.
Mhm.
He is The Wind
He is
Rises.
he is the wind that rises.
I never put that together.
You even have what's his name? I'm blanking out his name. Qui-Gon.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson is Ponyo's
Yeah.
father.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett.
I think that The Secret World
Ariadne?
of
Ariadne.
Ariadne
That's
has
Tina
two
Fey.
different
It does.
dubs.
It has-
I'm sorry. Yes, because one
Tom
of them.
Holland is the UK
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
right? And then the guy from Wizards of Waverly Place,
Yeah.
David Henry.
So which one's the one that has Amy Poehler?
I think it's the American one. I'm not sure if I've only seen the one that Disney.
But I don't think it's the Amy Poehler one, right?
Yeah, the Disney one is the Amy Poehler one.
Oh, okay. Because I turned it on HBO Max and they have an English dub for it, but the title said Amy Poehler and Will Arnett,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like,
Oh,
I thought this was the
That's
Disney one because the UK one's like all British people, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Mark Strong's in it, right?
I've never seen the British one. I mean, heard.
Me either.
I've
know,
only
like
seen
I
the
know
American,
it exists,
yeah.
but I've not.
Interesting.
Oh, I didn't know they had Tom Holland.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. You know,
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Batman, Qui-Gon,
Yeah.
Robin,
All the big names.
all the big names. So they do get. I remember having this conversation with a
Mhm.
friend, because I grew up watching these movies all dubbed.
Yeah.
Right.
At that when I was young, animation for me was all dubbed. You know, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
And it was never available to me in sub. Right.
I watched a lot of Spanish dubbed anime growing
You guys
up.
talk
too.
about that all the time.
Yeah.
I find that
But so I remember I grew up watching them dub, and in college when I get there, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, no one knows Studio Ghibli like I do. And I'm talking to some friends, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, these movies are great," and they haven't.
And they're name dropping Japanese voice actors.
And, no, not even. But they're saying something. Oh, isn't it awesome that this movie has so and so like these these actors? And they're like, "What? You watch? No, it doesn't. You watch it dub." And they're like making fun of me for watching these movies dubbed
is why they watch them. Sub.
because they watch them sub, and
Okay, but,
obviously,
Ghibli's a different
obviously, right? Like elite. When it comes to anime.
Yeah.
and college
and
students.
Yeah.
So when I was hearing this conversation, I'm like, I don't think you guys understand that Ghibli has great dub actors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Like, they
I
get
understand.
I understand, yeah.
the Discord normally between
Yeah.
sub and dub.
But I
get
think
that.
Ghibli is the exception because they go all out.
Yeah.
And it's not only that, too. For example, when it comes to Princess Mononoke, right? When you're translating a movie, you also have a director that's in charge of
Mhm.
of doing
Yes.
the voice, right?
Mhm.
For Princess Mononoke, the director was Pete Docter from Pixar.
Yeah.
Right? So you have a 3-time Academy Award winning
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
doing this. Exactly. He knows what they're doing.
Yeah, Lasseter did a
Lasseter
bunch of the
did
early ones.
yeah, exactly. So you have all these great artists directing the voices of these these actors, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
No.
So like when I was like trying to explain that to them, they still didn't get it because they had that elitist mentality when it comes to
Yeah.
sub versus dub.
They're American?
Yeah, they were Americans.
So they were weeaboos.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm-
They're otakus,
okay. I think that's a nicer term, right?
losers.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
right.
I guess not. I guess that's kind of though how we do like geek dork, right? Like,
Yeah.
we wear them as badges of honor,
Yeah.
right?
It's cool because, like I said, there's this documentary, and I want to say it's a documentary about Studio Ghibli, right? And during this documentary, they chronicle like Miyazaki going to California, going to Emeryville to
Mhm.
visit Pixar,
Mhm.
right? Because he I think it was they were releasing one of their movies, and like I said, Pixar was in charge of the voice acting, and Pixar here in America is probably the best studio,
Yeah.
right? Like how many?
Definitely the biggest.
The
or
biggest
Yeah.
one, most popular one,
Yeah.
right? The most critically acclaimed. They've
Yeah,
won the most,
yeah.
Oscars, right? John Lasseter, he made he is, canceled. But the guy is great, right? Pete Docter is great. Lee Ulrich is great.
No, he was great at some point, and now that he's canceled, he's terrible.
Yeah, he's not a
worthless
good
and we're
director
not-
anymore. Right? So you have all these great directors that have worked for Pixar that have won Academy Awards, right? So for us, they're like, man, these guys are the ones, right? And then Miyazaki comes and he visits Pixar. And it's so funny because you see everyone in Pixar giggling. They're like, oh, Miyazaki's coming, Miyazaki's here,
Yeah.
right? And John Lasseter, who was the president of Pixar at the moment, when he sees Miyazaki, he runs up to him and he says, Miyazaki-san, and he grabs him and he hugs him.
Yeah.
And you know that's a no-no in Japanese culture, right?
It's also no here in the United States, John
It's-
Lasseter. You don't just hug
Generally a
people
no-no.
and kiss them without.
I mean,
them
we're
asking.
Hispanic. I feel like we do that when we say hi to each other, right?
Yeah, but not when
Yeah.
John Lasseter
But now, yeah.
does it.
But I wouldn't do that to Miyazaki.
Yeah, but
Or
it's
John
cultural,
Lasseter.
yeah. But you see how uncomfortable Miyazaki is with this
Yes.
hug, right?
Mhm.
But it goes to show you how these, these greats are in awe of Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Like, man, if you think we're great, bro, look at this guy. This is the one to emulate. This is the king.
Yeah. Miyazaki looked even more awkward when Lasseter turned and accidentally kissed him.
Kissed
Yeah, that was a really awkward moment. There's one film that's not on HBO Max that it's an official Studio Ghibli, but it's distributed differently.
Yeah.
And that's Grave of the Fireflies.
Oof.
This is one of the most profound movies I think I've ever seen.
I would say that this is probably their best movie.
You know what? Now I'm in a
Didn't make
conundrum.
it didn't make anyone's top 5.
I did no,
No,
I never want to watch this movie ever again.
It's definitely on my top 5, but I'm not gonna go back and rationalize
But
who
not
I'm
for
kicking out.
rewatchability, yeah.
No, I've seen it like 15 times.
No.
Because I've taught it in the classroom. I think I've mentioned it
Mhm.
before. So I've had to sit through it many times,
Mhm.
and it's like heart wrenching. I highly recommend, even if you don't like anime, even if you don't watch anything else on
It's
the list,
beautiful.
go find this movie, because to see a narrative from the other side,
Mhm.
we hear and watch World War II
What
stories
narrative?
all the
World
time.
War II, yeah.
Yeah, World War II
American
stories all the
bombing,
time.
World War II,
Yes.
yeah. Mm.
And now we kind of get the British perspective, every once in a while now. But to see what it is as the victims
Yeah.
perpetuated by the bombing,
Mm.
that's
a whole
Yeah.
Yeah.
different ball game.
It's such a beautiful and sad story. Like, it's a movie I'd never want to watch again.
yeah.
Mhm.
But like I said, I do think it's their best movie. And had this movie been released, had it been done later in life, right,
Yeah.
when anime was more accepted in
If it was released now.
released now,
Yeah.
I could see this movie not winning,
Huge.
not just winning best animated
Winning
feature,
Best Picture.
but winning best picture.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
contention.
Yeah, and everybody would have seen it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a shame that it's their best one,
Yeah.
but it's not it's not their most popular one.
Yeah. Well, I also think
Also, I don't see how you would want to sell merchandise for this,
This
is
movie, right?
The
This is
marketing
true,
on
too.
that is
Yeah.
great.
I also think the way that it's distributed outside of the rest of their catalog kind of puts it like, if
Special.
I'm like, what Studio Ghibli, what do I watch? And I go and I watch all 22 of these movies, the 23rd one's not
It's
there.
not on
Yeah.
there.
So it kind of gets set
That
on the
outside.
sidelines. And it's funny that you mentioned, I forgot because it wasn't here next to the other movies to put it in my top 5, but I think way back in one of our earliest episodes in the top 5s, it was one of my top 5 anime
Yeah.
films
Oh,
of
that's
all
all-
time.
yeah, that's
you know?
true.
So it's funny because it's like out of sight, out of mind, especially like you said, it's not a fun rewatch.
It's not, yeah.
Even having seen it so many times, it's not something I think about what movies bring me joy, which I know is something you gravitate towards. Speaking of that, there's a couple of other apocryphal instances, other pieces of works that are either Studio Ghibli or Studio Ghibli adjacent.
Mhm.
What are some of those? Some materials in
some
addition.
of that materials. Well, like I said, Miyazaki is he's like the main guy of Pixar, right? He's not the only founder, but he's the main guy. So some of his works are before the creation of, I said Pixar, I meant Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
He worked on this show. What was it called? Conan, the
Future Boy Conan.
Future
is the
Boy Conan.
translation.
It's like one of these old school anime.
We just recently got it distributed here again because there was licensing for years and years.
I believe you can watch it in YouTube because that's where I watched some of the episodes.
Okay. Well, we just got it officially licensed. There's a Blu-ray set, and you can get the whole series on Amazon Prime. It's like $50, and that's like a big ticket.
Yeah.
So I've been tempted to be like, buy,
Yeah.
because I know especially with these animation stuff, these licenses don't run really long. So there's been thing like, oh, I want to watch that thing, and you can't get it anymore.
Yeah.
So I worry about that irrationally, and I'm like, I kind of want to buy it in case I ever do watch it. But yeah, you were
So
saying.
that one's one of those. The show Lupin the Third.
Yes.
The movie.
The movie specifically.
Miyazaki directed the movie Lupin the Third, the Castle of
Cagliostro?
Cagliostro.
Yeah. Claudio
Castagnoli.
That's
Yeah.
not the name of it.
And that used to be on Netflix for a while. I'm not sure if it's still there.
Well, that's true. That's one of the earliest Miyazaki films I
Yes,
saw.
Yeah,
and I love that movie.
I love that movie.
I had no idea
Have
what
you
was
seen that
going on.
movie?
I've not seen
That
it.
movie's such a
I'm
fun.
taking notes,
It's
though.
a fun movie, and I love Lupin. He's such a fun character. He's a thief, right? His father, he's a third, so it's like his grandfather was Lupin, the
original
the
Lupin.
original, from the French stories.
He's literally the guy from the Netflix.
The Netflix show. If you haven't watched the show, it was great. Anyways,
I haven't actually.
It's not on
I
Netflix
recommend
anymore.
it. It's not on Netflix anymore.
You can rent it for like $3.
Okay, I recommend it. It's a great one. But what makes this movie awesome is how it inspired a generation, right? For example, Lupin III, he is the inspiration for Spike Spiegel
And you can
in
see
Cowboy
it.
Bebop.
And that's the thing.
What?
Yeah.
You see it there.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
Yeah, that was
if I'm remembering correctly, because life is a weird out of chronology series of
Just the
events for me.
outfit, yeah.
I think I saw Cowboy Bebop first, and then Lupin the
yeah,
Third.
that's how I did it.
And then you're like,
oh, you see like the long legs of being able to
I was
fight.
gonna say, you can even see just from
the design.
Design,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can see how. Yeah. So Lupin the Third, I highly recommend that one too.
It's a great one, yeah. And
You mentioned being able to rent the movie for like $4, which is like almost every movie. And I always tell people that, but you know that I'm incapable of renting a movie.
you
You
feel
just buy it.
ripped off.
I buy
I
it.
usually just buy it.
'Cause
Am I gonna watch it more than once?
Yeah.
Might as well
Yeah.
just buy it.
I'll
Yeah.
buy it.
And if it's not good, I'm gonna tell someone else in my family that they have to watch
Yeah,
it.
so that I can get my.
Because even then, like if I rent it and it's not good, then I want someone else to verify
Yeah,
that it's
yeah.
not good. So I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Someone's gonna have to
Anyways.
rewatch it eventually.
And then it's gonna be cheaper than renting it for this one
yeah,
time.
exactly. So
Mhm.
I'm always like bargain hunting
Mhm.
to get the movie to own. So
Wait.
yeah. Oh, a couple other things. There's some couple video games.
Oh yeah, there's a video game. Studio Ghibli was in charge of the animation of a game called, what was it called? I played it. I loved it.
The Witch.
No.
Yeah, it has the title Witch in it. It's not The Witcher. No. Oh man, how am I blanking out? It's because I'm put on the spot.
Nino Kuni. Nino Kuni.
Nino Kuni.
Nino Kuni.
Wow.
There
Wrath
you
of
go.
the White Witch.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that the second one?
No, I think that's the first one.
Okay. Yeah, so they did the animation for this movie. Or maybe
Nino Kuni,
they
Wrath of
created
the
the
White
characters and
Yes,
then
the
they
character
created
design.
the character design
That
and
is
then
it.
the
Yeah.
studio did it. But yeah, you can see it's right there.
Yeah,
It's-
part two is called Revenant Kingdom.
Yeah. I recommend that game. That game's fun. It came out for the Switch.
Yeah.
George bought it and I'm like he wasn't playing it, so I'm like, yo, let me try
I
it
highly
out.
recommend this game because I bought it so that Link could play it.
And I loved it.
It's literally, I knew I wasn't gonna play it, but I was like, Link has to play it.
It's such a it kind of reminds me of Pokemon because you're like collecting these monsters
Yeah.
and you're fighting, and then there's a whole story there. But
That's not what I expected the game to be, by the way.
but it's so fun. I enjoyed this. It's a beautiful story, man.
And then I bought part two. Wait, you're playing part two?
No, you bought part 2, and I haven't played it yet.
Okay, but I gave it to you.
Yeah, I
right?
have it.
So
So
you
my-
have my part 2, and Dan has my part 1. And I
Yeah,
don't think he's played it
he's
either.
played it.
So it's just my Nino Kunis are just all the way around the world,
But yeah.
in someone else's possessions. 'cause-
Just so imagine a video game with like Studio Ghibli characters.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just not characters.
Amazing.
I'm sorry, but
Well,
I
mean,
design.
they are-
animate,
Yeah,
yeah.
design.
they are characters.
Yeah, but
designed
when I
by
say
Studio Ghibli.
characters, it's not like they're characters from their movies.
No.
It's just design. Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, that's the thing too. It's not like they have a shared universe. There's very, very little overlap from
Mm.
one film to the other. So when you say a Studio Ghibli character, they usually only exist in one finished
True, yeah.
story, which is kind of beautiful. And I think that in a weird way, Pixar would kind of have the same prestige, especially with
Yeah.
the last couple of movies that they made, like Soul,
Inside Out.
Inside Out,
Yeah.
right? If they
Man,
didn't
Pete
have
Docter.
sequels and franchises, they'd be a little
More
more,
prestige,
prestigious.
yeah.
That's the thing about Ghibli is that every single one of their movies is original and
Yeah.
its own thing. Whereas
Even the one movie that has kind of a pseudo sequel,
Right,
Whisper of the
it's
Heart, The
still-
Camera Returns, they don't even fit like
No.
yeah,
together.
it makes
yeah.
it's like like a pseudo sequel. It's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, yeah. There have been rumors about revisiting Porco Rosso, and I've kind of been like of two minds of it.
I mean, I would love to, but I wouldn't.
I would love to, but also I like it.
but
Just-
like in modern
no, of doing another Porco Rosso, like a Porco Rosso
Mm.
sequel. I don't know what that would be. I don't know if it would be like right after, if it would
Yeah.
be now.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that Porco ended up with that lady from the I don't know what it is restaurant,
Hmm.
and they had a happily ever after.
Happily ever after.
After and he because he found true love with her, he stopped looking like a pig and he looked like a human.
You wrote a whole new ending for it. That's kind of beautiful. Yeah. Anything else we missed? Oh, Ranja, the
Oh,
robber's daughter.
Ranja, the Robber's Daughter. Yeah, that
It's
show on Amazon Prime.
It's
Yeah,
aimed at a much more younger
audience. Yeah,
I
That's
liked
a-
it. I enjoyed it.
Movie?
It's
The
a
show.
TV show. Yeah, and it's like
I've seen like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
but it was like younger.
it's
like,
really
I
it's like
can't
it's like
relate to-
it's like Studio Ghibli Dora the Explorer.
that's the best way of putting it, but
Gotcha.
not like as pandering. Like
Yeah,
you're
it's
asking
not like a
questions. It's
learning
an actual
game,
story.
but
Yeah,
that age group.
it's an actual. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
narrative there.
Yeah, it's a easily digestible for very young, even
Yes.
preschool audience. So yeah, but I thought the art was beautiful. It's
Oh,
like
it's beautiful,
a 2D
yeah.
style, but 3D,
3D
animated.
animated. Yeah. You mean just like the video games?
Yes, just like the video games.
Mhm.
So, and anything else we missed? Is that
I mean, they have some documentaries about Studio Ghibli. Ghibli.
are they produced by Studio Ghibli?
I'm
in
not
the
sure if
collection.
they're produced by. I know one of them. It's on HBO Max.
There's two actually. There's The Kingdom of Dreams and Madness.
Yeah, that's the one with
And-
all about the founders of Studio Ghibli. And
Yeah.
if you want to know more
That
about
one-
Studio
that's the one I've
Ghibli,
seen.
Yes.
I recommend watching
That's
it.
the one
It's
I've seen
beautiful.
also.
And then there's another one.
There's a new one, yeah.
There's
Newer.
There's another one about it's Miyazaki. I believe it's the making of Ponyo.
Oh, it
Someone chronicled this, and they were asking questions. And
says following his 2013 retirement.
or was it The Wind Rises? Like it's a movie. I'm not sure which one because he's retired like multiple times.
Yeah, Miyazaki works on his first ever CGI project. What does that mean? I didn't know he worked on a CGI project.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because I know it's not Earwig and the Witch.
No, that's his,
No.
that's his son.
yeah.
And it's funny too because like in that documentary that I'm talking about, where it's chronicling him making a movie, like you can see that he gets writer's block.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because he's like, all right, writer's block. I'm gonna go travel.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna go travel, and I'm gonna try to get my mind, ease my mind, maybe let the creative juices flow in my brain. And you see that process in him, and like, man, like you see a genius working. You see a genius. You expect like this is easy for them, but no, it's hard to make a great quality movie for him, and he just gives 110% in everything he does.
Yeah.
He gives it his all.
Yeah.
It's nice
For
to
sure.
have the space to be a genius. To
Right?
be able to be like, I'm just going to drop everything and just go focus on this one thing. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of us just trudge along day by day. But you know what? It's hard work to be
I
a
mean, I'm pretty
genius.
sure. I mean, once you reach his age, right? Like you're allowed to have that space. You get me?
I feel
'Cause
like maybe there's that
the
level
legacy,
of
that, yeah,
comfortability,
Mhm.
yeah.
or maybe not because he keeps retiring and coming back.
That's
so
true. Yeah. Well, because I think,
That's also the artistic.
like a slave to your art.
Art, yeah.
And I think it's also cultural too. Like there's
Japanese,
not a ton
yeah,
of
they work.
Well, because what's he gonna do? He's retired, and what's he gonna do? Spend time with his son? He hates him, clearly.
So if you don't know, Miyazaki has a son named Goro Miyazaki, and Goro
Has 4 arms.
Goro used to be a.
He's Goro from Mortal Kombat now.
I want to say architect.
Anyone?
I want to say he used to be an architect, but when your father is Miyazaki, you want to be part of the business, I guess, right? So he got into animation. He started working for Studio Ghibli, and eventually he ended up directing his own movie,
Tales of
the
Earthsea.
Earthsea.
Another adaptation. actually.
Another adaptation, yeah. And it's interesting because in some cultures, like parents are very supportive.
I haven't met one of those cultures. What cultures are these?
In a good, healthy relationship.
Yeah.
What cultures have good, healthy relationships?
I mean,
we're
like-
stumped.
I mean, no, because like growing up, my dad, who's Hispanic, my dad told me like you can do whatever you want. Like he instilled that upon me,
Right.
right? Did I
I
believe
will
it?
criticize you every step of the way, but you can do whatever
right.
you want.
Yeah.
Now Miyazaki and he's very harsh on his son's art
Yeah.
because he himself has a high standard of what art should be,
As he should.
as he should, right? And that's why he's a G, right? He's awesome, but his son is not him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So as a result, like he's putting all this pressure on his son, and it never meets his expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to share the story?
Well,
with
yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wonder how much of that is also cultural.
Cultural, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That's why I said,
absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
I feel like in Japan, in that it's
Yeah,
more
culturally.
culture like that. I think
Yeah.
Hispanics tend to be a little bit more warmer with
Yeah,
children.
Yeah.
of course.
Um,
More emotional isn't the right word, but
yeah,
you get
yeah.
Yeah. I'll never forget. I've seen the video of just him walking out in the middle of the screening,
Of-
the premiere of his first
Of
movie.
Goro's
Of
of
movie.
Goro's first movie. And then like everybody's like, "Congratulations, your son did so good." And he's just no sells him.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
doesn't even respond. Just
Deadpan.
deadpan
Yeah.
straight,
Deadpan.
beeline right for the exit. Just ignoring everyone. I was like,
This is garbage.
my
Yikes.
goodness.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like this man, he's so good, but he's good in his own way.
Yeah.
Like he knows that he's not going to adopt a different style.
Yeah.
Because what works for him, he's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
It works for him, right?
Which is
Mastered
also
his own art
cultural.
It's cultural, right?
Yeah.
But it's also very stubborn because sometimes you don't want to branch out. You
Yeah,
don't want
that's
to
part
do
of
things
the-
other way. So when it comes to like 3D animation, like he hates it.
Mhm.
This guy despises 3D animation.
Yeah.
He believes it's an abomination, right?
Right.
So like I remember I was watching, I think I sent it to you. There was this video I saw on Twitter of like someone pitching to Miyazaki a 3D movie. And like it literally felt like a scene from The Office because you see Miyazaki there like this, right?
Yeah.
Hearing this. And then they zoom into his face.
Yeah.
And then afterwards they have like little section where you know how in The Office how they interview you, right? So afterwards you see him drawing and like, I'm just gonna die.
It's not worth it.
It's not
It's
worth
going
it.
down the drain. Cue Martin Scorsese talking about Marvel films.
Exactly. Martin Scorsese,
That.
yeah,
that.
Tarantino talking about
Yeah.
Marvel. But yeah, it's just so funny how he's stuck in his ways, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to branch out. He doesn't believe in 3D animation, right?
Yeah.
But he's a pro at what he does.
Yeah.
He's
yeah,
a king
I
there.
mean, he's mastered.
He's a
that.
master-
So,
he's
yeah,
mastered
fair enough.
it.
He mastered
Yeah.
the hand drawn.
But as a result, you're very stubborn. You think things have to be your way, and if they're not, then you're not reaching that standard. So
Yeah.
he's harsh on people.
Yeah.
Not only his son, he's also harsh on other people as well.
Yeah.
I feel like there's few people that he's not so harsh on.
But especially his son.
but it's especially his son.
It doesn't help too that like Tales of Earthsea, Goro's first film.
Isn't bad for another studio. It would have been a good movie.
Yeah, for another
another
studio,
studio.
but as a studio Ghibli,
Ghibli
film,
film,
it's
it's-
like,
yeah.
oh, this is okay, I guess. Willem Dafoe, right? Is
Yeah.
the villain.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I actually only seen this movie once, so it's
Yeah.
another one I got to rewatch.
because it's okay. But then his latest film,
No, but then after that,
Yeah.
he makes another movie, but he makes it with his father, Up from Poppy Hill. Have you guys seen this
I've
one?
seen that one, Poppy
Oh.
Hill, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
both
yeah.
of them together, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one's great.
That one's great.
That
yeah.
one's great. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story
it's
about
like
these.
Jonathan Kasdan writing with his father, Lawrence Kasdan. I think they wrote Solo together. Lawrence Kasdan
Oh, yeah, Lawrence
wrote
Kasdan, yeah,
Empire
right.
and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. And his other son wrote New Girl
Interesting.
or directed New Girl.
That
I thought you were talking about Miyazaki.
No,
Yeah,
it's talking about
Miyazaki's
Lo-
other son.
Has
Directed it.
JJ Lawrence. I think that's
His
name.
last name is Kasdan.
Oh, Kazan. JJ Kazan. My bad.
They named him after his first name
I'm
of his
sorry.
father.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh.
So they work on this movie together, and it's great. It's a beautiful movie. Like,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, I recommend it.
I can't imagine working on a film with,
with your
my
dad.
father.
Yeah, you would probably die
I would kill. No, I would kill him. I would. At this, okay.
Working in general. Like,
with your parents. Yeah,
15 years ago, he would have killed me. Like now, I would kill him.
Yeah.
And he for years was trying to get me to like script out this movie for him that he wrote this film. a
Oh,
long
your
time
dad,
ago.
yeah.
And
I thought you were
was-
talking about Miyazaki
yeah,
in
Miyazaki.
first person.
Miyazaki's constantly calling me, and he's like, "I have this idea for a 3D animation. Only you can script it out for me." And I'm like, "3D is an abomination." And then he goes back and he just retells everybody that. I actually looked it up. The 3D film they were talking about in The Neverending Man is a
There you go,
2018 short film, Boro the Caterpillar.
The caterpillar. I think that's for the museum that they have in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's not a way for
it's
us
not.
to watch it.
You have to go to Japan and
Okay.
watch it.
He did another short recently. I don't know if he did, but I know Studio Ghibli did. Was the Grogu and the Dust Bunnies?
Yeah,
The Zen Dust Bunnies?
what was that?
I mean, I thought it was cute, but it was like,
It's
I
like an
love
art
Zen Dust
project.
Bunnies.
yeah, it's like an art
Art
project.
project.
It's like
I wouldn't.
it was like a screensaver that I would put on in the background.
Here's what it is,
during
man.
a
So
party.
you're Disney Plus, and you post a picture of Grogu, like a statue of Grogu, and then Miyazaki in the
Yeah.
background, unfocused, right? You see that, bro? As a Studio Ghibli fan,
You're excited.
like, bro,
Yeah.
what is this? Are they collaborating?
They marketed the heck out of
They
it.
marketed
too.
the heck out of this
Yeah,
movie,
Yeah.
and when you watch it,
They
it's-
marketed the heck out of like they put out a tweet
Like
and
all of the
Yeah.
like Disney owned accounts, Lucas, all of them tweeted
Yes.
out.
I guess that counts as marketing.
I mean,
the heck
social media,
nowadays.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you watch it, and it's like a 3-minute, like
Yeah.
Little
like
clip.
studio,
Yeah.
like a student project.
Yeah.
Was it holiday? Why did they?
Yeah. Oh, I know why. But so it's funny because as the oldest host, I'm much older than Gabe and Link. To me, I didn't feel super marketed to because I was like social media post. Okay, that's teasers.
Right.
I didn't see a commercial on TV. I didn't see an advertisement before a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I was not super hyped. I was like, cool. They're working on something. I didn't even think it was going to be soon. I thought it was going to
be in the future,
in the distant future, right?
But we got it immediately.
But I actually knew already about the Grogu short because the reason they released it, we didn't know anything about it, but I had the title and I knew the release date. It was the anniversary of the original launch of The Mandalorian. So it was...
That's why.
Yeah, because they launched in November, season 1.
But then what was the reason for the... I want to like the deep marketing behind why they did this collab with the Dust.
But
Like, why making it the Ghibli?
yeah.
I think,
Why even use Miyazaki when he had nothing to do with
That's
the project?
what I want to know.
Oh,
behind the scenes.
Miyazaki wanted to do something like kind of as a love
He really
letter.
liked Grogu. And
Yeah, he
Grogu.
really likes Grogu. I mean, the kid's cute. What do you
I
want
don't
to
know
do?
why that
Good
makes
job,
me
John
so happy.
Favreau.
That makes
Yeah.
Good job, John Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
That
You
makes me
guys,
so happy.
you guys have created something that one of the greatest directors,
Yeah.
one of the greatest artists of all time loves.
Yeah.
Because-
That's high
It's
praise.
just a love letter.
Because you could see Grogu in the Ghibli verse,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's what this is all leading up
And so
to.
if you liked The Mandalorian...
The season finale of The Mandalorian is just going to be Studio Ghibli directed anime.
Oh,
I'm breaking it here first.
Mm,
Miyazaki.
you're-
But Miyazaki wants me to script it, and I don't know
Right,
if I have
right,
time.
yeah.
So it might not happen.
You should make time.
I got a lot on my plate right now.
You mentioned the museum really quickly, but a couple of things that I think are Ghibli related that are not film, TV, blah, blah. One, the Academy Museum of Motion
Oh,
Pictures,
yes.
they had an exhibit, a Ghibli exhibition,
yeah.
whatever it's called.
It's
for
gone
a
now.
while. It's gone now. Which I'm really sad
we
about,
found out because we were
looked
like, we were like, all right, let's go
Yeah.
let's go to LA, check it out,
Yeah.
and then we Googled it, and it was like,
and it had just. It
What
was like
year-
2
what
months
year
ago.
was it
It was
in?
this year.
so this year, yeah,
This year?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was up for a couple months. I really thought. I think it might have been open longer than I realized,
Mhm.
but I had seen it all over social media and people talking about going to see it, and it looked like a really good museum to go to, and closed.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately.
now you've broken my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And now
thanks
they
for-
opened. They have the theme
theme park
in Japan.
They have a museum as well. I'm not sure if they're integrated.
I don't know if it's like a full theme park.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like.
Yeah, it's like
full
a section,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I heard that like Universal has like
It's
a
like
whole...
Ghibli Land or
Yeah.
something like that.
I heard that Universal has like a whole anime land where they have like Dragon Ball Z and they have
Yeah.
like Demon
Yeah.
Slayer and they have Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Mm.
Gotta go to Japan.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You know, that's what's funny. I want to go to Japan, but apparently, according to all the things I want to do in Japan, I have to be there for like a month because
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, exactly.
it's
yeah.
just like a week of theme
Yeah.
parks alone, and that's
Yeah.
like the bottom of my list of
Yeah.
things I
Like-
want to do in Japan.
Yeah, all of the Disney,
Wow.
Universal. all
Yeah,
of the-
because they're all like
The
incredible.
Nintendo stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Wrestle Kingdom.
that's right, and it might be a 2-night event now, so that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, so one thing that these movies inspire is a longer conversation about the food that is present
Mm.
in
Yeah.
these films.
I feel like food and anime
It's
in
just-
general
it's beautiful.
is beautiful. But I think it also, in Ghibli films in particular, I think it's beautiful. But I think it kind of also ties back to what we were saying, how I feel like in a Pixar film that's not Ratatouille, like you're not going to get something that's just sitting there with these shots of these
Food, yeah.
of food just
Yeah.
cooking, steaming,
Like
blah, blah, blah.
artistic,
Yeah,
yeah.
artistically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's so beautiful to watch and also so appetizing.
I get hungry every
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
every time.
Spirited Away.
And you know what's interesting?
Oh.
Like, it looks beautiful, right?
Calcifer.
Calcifer, yeah.
Yeah.
You see them make it, and then you see it in
Yeah.
real life,
You see me eat it.
and it's not the same.
No, it's not.
It looks better animated.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
want to eat this,
Yeah.
like the anime version.
That's
of
what
the
they need to
animated
do. They need to make a restaurant that has the animated version of these foods.
VR. That's the future.
There you go.
You
I
heard it
don't-
here first.
I don't know
Mm.
if that's the future.
I hope it is.
I will fight you on that.
But they do, they do make it seem artistic. Like,
Not if Meta keeps buying it.
it seems like everyone in a Studio Ghibli movie that's cooking, it seems like they are a chef, like a master chef, like one of the people you see in Netflix Chef's Table. Like everyone, every time they make food, it just looks beautiful.
Mhm.
It looks
Yeah.
like a professional is doing it.
Yes. Because they put that kind of like care into every detail.
Yeah.
I feel like every blade of grass
Mhm.
is...
It's so
Hand-drawn,
detailed.
yeah.
Every single little thing, which I guess you lose kind of in 3D animation.
Mm.
Yeah.
But the food is amazing. I want to eat their
Beautiful.
food. Yeah.
Agreed.
What's some of your favorite food from the...
I mean, I think Spirited Away has my favorite one, like where her parents are.
That's your favorite one. You don't find that traumatizing, that scene?
No, not at
No,
all. Because
it's
all
not.
this food looks amazing.
No, because I've been out at an all-you-can-eat Japanese buffet with Link, and it's basically just that experience.
yeah, it's me turning into a pig.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how Porco Rosso becomes a pig.
Even the waiter even starts whipping him with like a fly swatter. Like that's literally happening.
You're eating too much. Slow down. And me and Gabriel, which is destroy
Yeah.
a Japanese buffet. But yeah, so just seeing all the food there in that little, what is it?
Market?
Market,
it's like a market.
fair.
Yeah.
Just looks delicious.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think Chihiro's parents would agree as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
I was like, Gyro. What? What are we talking
Oh,
about?
Chihiro.
Is there another movie for you that
No, like I said, I thought about that scene with Calcifer.
Calcifer eating?
Calcifer.
Yeah, eating the
The
eggs.
food and
The ham.
Yeah.
His mouth opens up.
The ramen in Ponyo looks amazing.
I was gonna say the
the
ramen
ramen
ponyo.
ponyo.
Yeah.
And then you do it. It's so easy, and it doesn't look as artistic.
You know, when I saw ponyo, and I know that wasn't that long ago, I hadn't really had ramen, like good ramen. Like I had like, you know, cup of noodle soup,
Yeah.
but like a real plate of ramen. And that was like, I was
you
like,
didn't go with us to that ramen spot in New York. Sorry.
I know you guys went without us. You
Yep.
were supposed to meet up with us, but you kept saying in an
Yeah,
hour, in
priorities.
3 hours, in 5 hours.
Shouldn't have gone to the Statue of Liberty.
You know, some we make sacrifices for our family sometimes. It's not always about our appetites. But then again, I've never been fly swatted at a Japanese
Exactly.
buffet. So
It's a good feeling.
you mentioned a food market. Side note: the other day, a friend was here and she was like, a man outside said that there's a food market around the corner.
Yes. She came here
She's
to the house.
Yeah, one of your neighbors says there's a food market. Let's go check it out.
No, he said a food bazaar.
A food bazaar was
Yeah.
the exact term. Yes, a food
And
bazaar.
I got so excited.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
What was it?
So we get into the car, right?
The
And
driver-
we're around the corner. You want to describe it?
We're driving. Like, first of all, we're trying to figure out where it was because the guy she wasn't specific.
Yeah,
like,
she was like, it's
around
on
the
it's on
corner.
118. No, she was like, it's on 118. And we're like, 118 what?
And
No, it's
yeah,
on 118. So we're like, okay.
So we're driving around and we're driving and we see like this little stand, and it looks like a lemonade stand. And at first I thought it was one because for some reason in Georgia's neighborhood, kids do have like lemonade stand.
Yeah.
Like
We're
it's normal.
Bring it back old school.
Yeah, old school, right? So I thought, oh, okay, cool.
I appreciate
Adults have a lemonade stand now.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
and then
just
so we're
two.
driving around, we don't see it, and then we go one more, we go again and we realize this is a food bazaar. It's this little stand.
It's
Two
one
adult
stand.
men.
Two adult men, like
Yeah.
What kind of
half
food
a
was it?
table, like half this table.
Yeah. We couldn't find out what kind of
The
food it was.
yeah.
Because our friend was like, go. Just go. Don't stop.
They made eye contact to go leave.
Well,
So, not as appetizing.
Not as
No.
as a
appetizing.
Studio Ghibli film.
Mm.
Okay. Link, you wanted to know which director's work would you love to see in Ghibli format?
Oh yeah, so one of my favorite things is combining genres, combining styles. I love it when they clash and they create something beautiful. So I just wanted to ask you guys, like, which director like that we have now would you which director's work would you like to see in the Studio Ghibli animated format?
So does it mean this director's making an animated Studio Ghibli film, or Studio Ghibli's making a film in the style of this director?
So the director is making a whole movie, right?
Okay.
However, it's animated by Studio Ghibli.
Okay.
So I guess you could say that the director has creative control,
Yeah.
but it's animated by Ghibli.
Okay. So all right. So there's another apocryphal film that I forgot, The Red Turtle.
Oh yeah, the Red Turtle with that
Yeah.
French company,
Yeah.
that French.
Yeah, they co-produced it with a
With a
French
French
studio.
studio.
Just a shout out to that movie. That movie's amazing.
Yeah.
I teach magical realism, and I watch that with my 10th graders every year.
It's a good one.
And they're always like, oh, there's like no dialogue
no
in the
dialogue
movie.
at all.
And they're always like, what are we watching halfway through it? And by the end, they're like, what did I watch? It was amazing. And that brightens up my life, those moments. But back to what I thought about it, because it was like Ghibli's making this French film for these other people's creative. So, okay, so this person is in charge of the project, the animations by Studio Ghibli.
Ghibli, yeah.
All right. Who wants to go first?
So I think you want me to go first
You-
because I was telling Leanne about this
Yeah.
because
Okay.
she was ready, and I thought it'd be cool to see a Jordan Peele horror movie
Yeah.
Mhm.
in Ghibli format.
Interesting. I think it would be more terrifying.
It would be terrifying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely more terrifying.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I had said on the same living, I was like, oh, Bong Joon-ho, like it would be cool to the director of Parasite.
Oh, the
Oh, okay,
Parasite. Yeah,
Parasite.
that'd be a cool one too.
Um,
Like imagine Parasite in Ghibli.
Yeah,
That'd be
would-
beautiful.
Wow.
But I also think like just
You guys
I
are
think,
creating
like,
nightmare fuel, by the way.
yeah. No, I was gonna say I think like a Chris Nolan space film.
Oh,
but
that'd be
in
cool.
the
Yeah.
Ghibli
That'd be
style would
pretty
really,
cool.
Really cool.
Got
Because we've
it.
not.
Would it be forward, backwards? How would it be? No Memento, no Tenet? No.
I don't know. We gotta
Okay.
see.
Okay.
I don't live in his brain. I don't
Alright.
know where to go.
Here's my pitch.
Mhm.
Grindhouse style 3-hour film, 2 separate movies, Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino in Studio Ghibli
Yeah.
That'd be
style.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Two
that'd
different
be epic.
styles with trailers in different styles for other
Yeah.
fake movies.
That'd be pretty
in between.
cool. Like
That'd be
imagine
great.
Inglorious
That'd be
Bastards animated by
Exactly.
Studio Ghibli.
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's what that's what the trailers would be in between the two movies. It would just be like existing Rodriguez
Mhm.
and Tarantino movies in Ghibli style.
I do think, and I was telling Danny about this one. I think the one director who, in my opinion, like his work would fit in like in a glove for a Studio Ghibli movie
Mhm.
is a Wes Anderson movie.
Oh, that would actually
That
work,
would
yeah.
be
I
one
feel
of the
like
most
this would be
adorable,
perfect.
the
Yeah.
most adorable thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Ponyo is kind of about this girl in the sea, right? Imagine Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Yeah, but Ghibli.
But
Or like Grand Budapest. but
Grand
Ghibli.
Budapest
Oh,
Ghibli,
so
right?
good.
Or Moonrise Kingdom, a more like
Oh, with the kids.
kids. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool
Yeah. Darjeeling Limited.
Wes
That one.
Anderson, if you're listening.
to this.
Yeah.
Or
Please
Ghibli.
script their Mandalorian finale because I don't have time.
Now that would be very interesting. You have Wes Anderson scripting a Star Wars movie animated by Studio Ghibli. That's wow.
I would upgrade my Disney Plus to $20 a month if they
Easy.
created that.
I don't know why they don't create. Start having
Just all these
different
crossovers.
all these
right?
crossovers. Yeah, man.
We live in an interesting time where a lot of these like collabs exist.
Mhm.
Things that we wouldn't have imagined growing up. I hate to be the quasi boomer on the show, but it's like if these kids only knew how good
Yeah.
they have it, and we have it too.
You would have
'cause-
told me.
Yeah,
Back then.
I wouldn't have imagined. All right, so we'll finish up with, we touched a little bit on this already, but you said your favorites. What would be your recommendations?
Mm.
Where do we get started for a new Ghibli fan?
I would like to.
I was wondering how long that dead air was going to last.
I'm sorry, I was thinking
No, that's okay.
because obviously there's like ones that you recommend, right? I want to recommend one that's more obscure, not as
Right.
popular. I love this one. I would put it in my top 5 as well, but
What, that top
But
5
she's
has
the
top
8
guy,
films in
yeah.
it.
It's not top 10.
But one that I would recommend because I enjoyed
Earwig
it so
and the
much.
Witch.
No, that one's. I would recommend Pompoko.
That movie is weird, dude.
That movie
That's
is-
what you're for.
That's what you want.
You're going to be like, you've never seen Ghibli? Watch Pompoko.
Watch it. It's so fun. It's so weird, and it's also a great story about environmentalism. So
Is that what the movie is about? It lost
Just
me
part-
along the way.
part of it is that. So I just think like I really enjoy this movie. I want other people to watch
Can you
it
please
as well.
describe the famous scene from Pompoko?
Which one?
The one with the nuts?
Don't,
No?
Man, I don't remember.
See, I could describe it using words, but I don't know if
If
I'd
you
have
read
to be
it,
marked
if you read
explicit.
it.
Yeah, even though it's not explicit, but also kind of is. I don't.
Look up Pompoko.
And what are they? They're raccoons? What are
They're
they?
They're
raccoons.
raccoons.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they're
Pompoko
raccoons
means-
and nuts, like chewing nuts. Okay,
Yeah.
food that you eat. Just to be clear. Yeah,
Google that.
yeah. Google
It's
raccoon
weird.
nuts
Google that.
Pompoko,
So,
and have your safe search on, please.
do it in incognito mode.
That's a deep cut. I don't even remember what the question was.
No,
Oh,
recommendations.
yeah,
That's like
Pompoko.
if you're gonna recommend one Ghibli film, yours is Pompoko.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There's like a live action like part or segment, right?
It's like yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That
a
movie's
weird movie.
Very odd. Like Ghibli films can be
I gotta
odd in the
rewatch.
sense that they're allegorical, so you have.
Yeah.
But
And this
that's
one's
a
long,
different
too.
level. Yeah.
That movie's like a fugue state.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Okay.
I feel like. Trying to think. I'm trying to think of as far as like watchability, but also what is the best representation of what
Oh, I didn't do
Ghibli
that.
is. Or
Yeah,
I know I
clearly
didn't
you
do
didn't
that.
do that. Yeah.
but it's hard. It's hard.
Has anyone seen Only Yesterday?
I
no,
have.
I
What
have
is
not.
it?
I have not.
It's about this girl reminiscing
Okay,
Yesterday.
that's
about
fair.
her life. About her life, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
It's only
also
yesterday.
it's also like one of the. I believe that one takes place in the 80s, but it's still cool.
Yeah, 82. Mm-hmm.
I think that's Isao Takahata.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen that one either.
I want to say. I think it's Princess Mononoke, but if not, it would be Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay, then take House because mine's is Princess Mononoke.
Okay,
Mine.
I'll take Howl's. No problem.
No, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Easy.
Excellent.
I think it's a great. I think visually it's stunning. I think the plot is not too hard for people to digest.
Yes, it's simpler. Like for
Yeah.
example, you would say Spirited Away, but that might be too much to
complicated.
start. Yeah,
Like you're talking
Yeah.
about the spiritual.
it's a
realm,
lot of
that's
people's
stuff.
starting point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and the dubbing is great. Like we said, Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a book that you can go and read after. So I
Yeah.
feel like
Who does the voice of the girl? Is it Claire Danes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
No, it's not Claire Danes.
Emily
it's
Mortimer.
Emily Mortimer.
Emily
yeah.
Mortimer. Claire Danes is my pick. Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke, yeah.
Yeah. Billy Bob Thornton,
Is the
Minnie Driver. Yeah.
who does the voice of the guy in is it Sasuke? No. Ichitaki.
You know, I don't even know. I
Of the
don't
guy?
even know who the main guy is. Yeah.
It's someone popular.
I want to say Jonathan Taylor Thomas, but I know that's a complete fabrication and not true.
Man, who is
you
it?
can look it up.
Kate Blanchett is a lady in the tower, right? The lady with the gun.
No.
Or
no,
that's
Minnie Driver.
She's
That's
the,
Minnie
she's
Driver.
the-
Oh, Minnie Driver.
She's the mom in Ponyo.
It says
No, Tina Fey's the
it
mom.
says
in Ponyo.
Toki, Jada Pinkett Smith, Lady Eboshi, Minnie Driver,
Minnie-
San, Claire Danes, Ashitaka, Billy Crudup. Oh, isn't that
I don't know who that is.
I don't want to say it because I might be wrong. So
Am I right?
is it? It's not Dr. Manhattan, right, from the Watchmen movie?
I don't know.
Billy Crudup. You
Oh,
can go ahead and look that up.
Nausicaa of the Wind Valley has Patrick Stewart as one of the guys there.
As
so that's pretty
Professor
cool.
X,
Yeah.
he plays Professor X in
Yeah.
Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind. So those are our recommendations. So anyone looking to either revisit these titles or enjoy them for the first time, go ahead and check them out. Most of them are on HBO Max. If you press play on HBO Max and they only have the subtitle, if they don't have the dub, come over to my house, help me find them. They're in the closet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere here in the studio, and then we can it is the guy. It's he's Dr. Manhattan.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he was young.
I don't
obviously.
even know what he looks like because when you say the guy that plays Dr. Manhattan, I just think of a blue guy.
He's this guy. He was the guy.
Don't know who that is.
He was in the morning show.
I haven't seen that.
I unfortunately watched it. He was in Alien Covenant, Mission Impossible 3, Big Fish. Big Fish is an amazing movie.
Mm.
Almost Famous. He's got a great career. Good for him. So, go ahead, check out one of these films or check out any of these Billy Crudup films that we randomly ended the episode on. Almost Famous, Mission Impossible 3. Don't even watch 1 and 2. Just jump right to 3. It'll be great. And you'll get an idea of Hayao Miyazaki.
Tom Cruise hasn't dubbed any of these.
No.
No.
That's a big one that I
I
feel
think he's
like.
waiting to be the manga Iron Man.
Mm.
That's what.
But yeah,
Did you see they're re-releasing Top Gun Maverick in theaters?
Oh my
Again?
god, Gabe, stop talking about that.
Sorry.
It will finally be for Christmas on Paramount Plus, and you can stop bringing it up every week here. And while Gabe continues, unless you have anything else to say,
Mm-mm.
Now just keep on. If you've never seen a Studio Ghibli movie, I recommend it. It's one of the best things you've ever do in your life.
yeah.
Do
If-
it right now.
Do it right now, yeah.
Yeah,
Do it
just
right
stop. Just stop this episode right now, okay? And while Gabe keeps searching for Top Gun Maverick, you keep searching for Hayao Miyazaki and the stories he tells week in and week out, because you have like 23 movies to watch, so it'll take you a couple of weeks. Until next time, keep on searching.